What up, my dudes? Ken Roczen out here on his Kawasaki Moto, Suzuki Dookie, Red Bull, Saki, KTM, Beta Hybrid, EV, electric dirt sickle motor scooter. Okay. I think that's what we got now. Oh my gosh. So I just want to talk about this whole entire Ken Roczen thing that's been going on for the past like 3 or 4 months, right? So we just saw all the pictures of Roczen's Pro Circuit Red Bull Kawasaki, okay? After we just saw the progressive Suzuki, after we saw the other Red Bull combined Honda bike that wasn't the HRC Honda bike combined with the Stark bike. What bike has he not rode yet? Again, 1985 Beta Hussenberg. Like I don't know. I think he's rode it all, bro. I think he's rode it all. So anyways, okay, enough of the memes, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I mean, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I think Roczen was supposed to announce some sort of team he's going to be riding for here. Hell, he may have even announced it like by the time I upload this video. I have no idea, but it's all over the place. I thought for sure that progressive Suzuki deal was going to go through, but then you saw right after that the picture of the Pro Circuit Red Bull Cowie bike. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this just seems like the biggest charade I've ever seen in my life. Like there's no way you could just be trying to go, like, I just don't understand it. I mean, I really don't, but it just seems like a big game to try to generate a bunch of hype. You know, that's what it seems like to me. This is the thing right here. I feel like this seems so crazy and there's been so much hype built up around this. A lot of you guys might kind of be wondering, like, why is this generating so much attention? Like, why is this such a big deal for Roczen to be going to all these different bike brands and doing all this crazy shit? It's because we never typically see this from that caliber of a rider. You know, typically they're on a team, they're stuck with that team for a certain amount of time, and that's just the bike that they ride, right? And then they think about going to another team, and then they'll sign for that other team, and they'll go to that other bike for 3 or 4 years, right? But Roczen is doing this crazy-ass thing where he's like generating a bunch of this hype around him riding literally every single different bike brand. He was on the Yamaha for a minute. It's like Roczen kind of got what was coming to him in a sense. I mean, even though, like I say, I agree with him. I agree that's complete bullshit that HRC Honda was restricting what races the riders could race. Still, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So it's really not a surprise that Roczen is not on a full-blown factory team. I mean, it's not a big shocker, guys. Like, he did what he did, right? And the thing about it is, like, yes, Roczen can go over there and do really good at Paris Supercross or do good at fucking Red Bull Straight Rhythm or whatever it is, but we've seen what Roczen's done in the actual Pro Supercross and Pro Motocross series the past 3 or 4 years ever since his injury, okay? When you want to talk about these big American factory teams signing you for, like, you know, AMA Supercross and Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, they're not just going to all base their shit around what you did in Paris Supercross or what you did in Red Bull Straight Rhythm. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we want to get to talking about where Roczen's at right now, speed-wise and skill-wise and all that, don't get me wrong, Roczen's bad to the bone, yada, 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 but you can't just forget everything that Roczen has done these past 3 or 4 years where he's had this mysterious illness. You know, he does pretty good in the first couple rounds of a certain series, and then he just falls off of the face of the earth about midways through the series, and he just cannot finish. He did that in the outdoor series. He's done that in the Supercross series over and over and over. Like, yeah, on any given night, Roczen can go out there and compete with the top guys, but as far as being a championship, full-blown championship contender where it's like, you know what, I actually think Roczen can go out there and beat Tomac, fucking Anderson, Webb, all in the championship in 2023. I just don't believe that. So it's not really a surprise that Roczen doesn't really have a full-blown factory ride. I know it can shock some people at times, but like, look at the track record of what he's done in the actual American Supercross and motocross over the past 3 or 4 years, and you will start to realize what is going on here, you know? And I feel like it was a case of HRC Honda wasn't really going to re-sign Roczen for anything past 2023 Supercross, so that probably rubbed Roczen a weird way, so then that's why he went in there and you know, kind of made a stand, and it was like, whatever, they're not going to sign me past 2023 Supercross anyways. That's just kind of my guess. But at the end of the day, it's like Roczen's still really fast. He can still go out there and compete, but you know, he's starting to get up there in the age range. I think he's like 28, 29, something like that. You know, he's starting to get up there. He's had a bunch of bad injuries. He's had, if I was a team owner, I wouldn't necessarily be looking at it like, yeah, let me just sign Ken Roczen, you know? I just wouldn't necessarily look at it that way because, again, all of that weird, mysterious illness crap that's like holding him back, I'm sure it's still the arm injury affecting him. I don't know. It's been this thing. Every series for like the past 3 or 4 years, he just can't figure it out. After he gets to the halfway point through the series, he just can't figure it out. So as like a team owner, that would be kind of like a, whoa, I don't know if I really want to sign that guy. And then after him kind of making that stand against HRC Honda, posting the broken chain shit and all of that, I think it just like added the icing on top of the cake for some of these other factory teams to be like, we're probably just going to pass on Roczen. And the fact that they're all completely loaded up right now with other riders, you know, it's really not that big of a surprise that Roczen's not on full factory teams, what I'm trying to say. But he's going and riding every fucking bike out there, you know, like doing the full-blown like opposite, you know, almost like a revolution against the full-blown factory teams or something like that, because he knows it's going to generate a bunch of hype. Everybody's seeing him on every different color of bike, and it's like, it's not even really impressive at this point anymore. It's like, bro, like you've literally been on every single bike brand in the past month or two. So it's pretty obvious you're just trying to kind of make a show here a little bit, you know. You're kind of trying to generate a little bit of hype around you, hoping that one of these factory teams will sort of see what you're doing and be like, oh man, Roczen's, it's like him getting his name back in the conversation, you know. Now that Roczen's not tied down to any kind of team or any kind of manufacturer or anything like that, he can kind of go batshit crazy and generate all this hype because, like I say, typically a rider of that caliber simply never can do that. And, you know, I think Roczen might have tried to get on the KTM, Red Bull KTM team again, but there was something that happened there. I can't remember exactly what the deal was. I don't know if it was something that had happened when they split up beforehand. I don't know exactly, but I do know something happened in there where I don't think he was able to actually get back on the Red Bull KTM team. So I don't know if he's like burned too many bridges, you know what I mean, on all these factory teams. I'm not really sure. Star Yamaha's fully loaded up. Monster Cowie's fully loaded up. You know, I guess it's possible that he signs to some sort of... It's hard to believe he would sign for like gas and be riding with Barsha, whipping your face Barsha. You know, I don't know. I think Roczen's just about got himself in that situation where it's impossible for him to get back on a, you know, actual full-blown A-tier factory-level bike. If they didn't start to shuffle those guys out, they would never have enough room for the guys coming up. You know, so it's one thing if you're Eli Tomac and you're winning, and you keep on winning, then of course you're going to stay on a full-blown factory team. You know what I mean? Or if you're Cooper Webb and you have 2 Supercross 450 championships, you know, he keeps himself in that position where he can stay on a full-blown factory team. But Roczen is the one guy of that certain class of dudes that did really good like 5+ years ago, but hasn't been able to continue that. You know what I mean? He hasn't been able to stay above water in a sense. He hasn't been able to keep his head above water results-wise to full-blown just automatically stay on a factory-level team. You know, and I think that's where a lot of people are getting confused. Like, they're thinking of it like the old Roczen deserves to be on a full-blown factory team, but that's not the current Roczen. You know, it's just not the same. So, either way, man, I don't know what bike we're going to see him on. I guess the news will come out here pretty soon, but we'll see, dude. He may come out on a rainbow bike. I have no idea. But either way, dogs, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. I'll see you boys on the next one. Later, dudes.